Ladies and gentlemen, for a while, there has been a shortage on air traffic controllers in this country. And now there are reports that they are showing up drunk and falling asleep on the job. Air traffic controllers pushed to the brink. So, one air traffic controller went into work drunk this summer and joked about it, making big money buzz. Another routinely smoked marijuana during breaks. A third employee threatened violence and then aggressively pushed a colleague who was directing airplanes. The incidents were extreme examples, but they fit into a pattern that reveals glaring vulnerabilities in one of the most important protective layers of the nation's vaulted aviation safety system. In the past 2 years, air traffic controllers and others have submitted hundreds of complaints to the Federal Aviation Administration hotline describing issues like dangerous staffing shortages, mental health problems, deteriorating buildings, and some infested with bugs and black mold. There were at least 7 reports of controllers sleeping when they were on duty, and 5 about employees working while under the influence of alcohol or drugs. The New York Times obtained summaries of complaints through open record request. Air traffic controllers who spent hours a day glued to monitors or scanning the skies with the lives of thousands of passengers at stake are the last line of defense against crashes. The job comes with high stakes and intense pressure, even in the best conditions. Yet the conditions for many controllers are far from ideal. A nationwide staffing shortage caused by years of employee turnovers and tight budgets, among other factors, has forced many controllers to work 6-day weeks, 10-hour days. The result is fatigue, distracted, and demoralized workforce that is increasingly prone to making mistakes, according to the Times investigation. Their findings are based on interviews with more than 70 current and former air traffic controllers, pilots, and federal officials, as well as thousands of pages of federal safety reports and internal FAA records that the Times obtained. While the U.S. airspace is remarkably safe, potentially dangerous close calls have been happening on average multiple times a week this year. The Times reported in August some controllers say they fear that a deadly crash is inevitable. In the fiscal year that ended September 30th, there were 503 air traffic control lapses that the FAA preliminary categorized as significant, 65% more than the prior year, according to internal agency reports reviewed by the Times. During that period, air traffic increased about 4%. Database of aviation safety issues are peppered with recent mistakes by exhausted controllers. A controller at the Air Traffic Control Center in Jacksonville, Florida area instructed one airliner to turn into the path of another, later blamed being overworked and fatigued. A controller at a facility that monitors the skies above Southern California told a plane to fly too low, attributing to a lapse to being extremely tired after working continuous overtime. If I can make a small mistake like that, I can make bigger ones, the controller wrote in a submission included in the database, which was maintained by NASA. Many controllers are aviation enthusiasts who are drawn to the job because it can pay six figures. Some relish the opportunity to earn more by working overtime, but the Times found that the combination of a 6-day work week, around the clock schedules, has caused controllers to develop physical and mental health problems. Many avoid seeking professional help because doing so might jeopardize the medical clearances they need to work. Some turn to sleeping pills or alcohol to cope. Others resign or retire. The FAA estimate that more than 1,400 controllers, or about 10% of the workforce, would depart this fiscal year. Well, that's scary. When you're on a plane trying to get to your destination, you don't think about this, but it is critical. They're saying these mistakes being done by air traffic controllers is happening multiple times on a weekly basis. And they know it's just a matter of time before something big will happen, a big mistake that will cost people their lives. Well, that's scary. You know, when I was coming up, they had a lot of schools for people to go to if you wanted to become an air traffic controller. But I remember them saying even then that it's stressful. You would have to work a lot of long hours, and some people just can't handle that. It's a very demanding job. So the shortage part, actually, I am not surprised about, because as far as shortages with air traffic controller, that's been going on for several years now. That's been going on for quite some time. So it's not a recent thing. I think even before the pandemic, they had shortages. So y'all, please tell me what you think. It'll sure be in the back of my mind the next time I have to take a flight. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.